that was the Travel Lodge in Camborne. I actually ate at that pub called the Copper Coast last night. It was a bit average actually, to be honest. Righty, day 6 from Lizard and day 3 from Land's End starts now. I'm heading towards Redruth direction and then on to St Agnes. Relatively short day, should be about 10-11 miles, and then having a rest day tomorrow, hopefully sort the tent out, but feeling a little bit tired today. Mixed sleep last night, reasonable but mixed, and I'm going to take it easy today, really cruise. So I have a bed for the night, a friend of family, so let's see how today goes. Cornwall, famous for its tin mines, its history. A couple of nice messages from New Zealand last night, from Sandy at Glaucoma New Zealand. And you know, this walk is really predominantly to raise money for 2 charities, I Care for Africa and the really inexpensive cataract surgery that is achievable at only 50 UK pounds or 100 New Zealand dollars, and makes such a difference to people's lives. It's not just an average cataract that's removed, it's people with very advanced cataracts. But the second charity is Glaucoma New Zealand, and that's a third of my job, is dealing with glaucoma and the devastating effects that can have too on people's lives. And Glaucoma New Zealand do a fantastic job. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to convene the local Hawke's Bay glaucoma support group along with Belinda from Alex Buller's ophthalmology service in Hastings. And a big shout out to Belinda, she just does a wonderful job. So I Care for Africa, but certainly not forgetting Glaucoma New Zealand. So a bit of road walking today. Good old Charlie, eh? One of my favourite films when I was a kid. Bit of road walking today, can't wait to get back on the actual coastal trail away from the traffic. But to be honest, the last couple of days has been really educational, and I've really enjoyed going through the villages, and it's just perhaps given me just a different side of Cornwall. And Camborne's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. You know, it's just a few miles long. It sort of coalesces now with Redruth, which I'm heading through shortly, or I'm heading to the outskirts of. Very busy. It's a Monday morning, so I guess it's to be expected. From a distance I thought that sign said breakfast. No, so I crossed the road thinking I'd get some breakfast, but it didn't. It said heli first. I should come off the main road there. I don't think the pathway carried on, that's a busy A road, so I'm going to wangle my way through Redruth. I've got all day, cruise mode today, and get to the destination safe in one piece. Sure, Tesco will have something I can eat. So another example, I was just having a scone and tea at Boesti in Redruth, and these guys have just donated a £5 to the cause. Thank you so much, guys.
No problem.
Really appreciate it. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Heading out of Redruth now, and you can see I'm actually very close to the coast. So the coastal path actually, which I'm hoping to hit on the next walking day, is not that far away. And of course, with good views, means that I had to do a big climb just now. To be honest, it was very gradual, so I must be getting a little bit fitter because it wasn't too bad. So I'm only up to about 170 metres, but it's just, it's nice to do it without puffing. Such a lovely gesture at the cafe just a few moments ago. And the young lady actually came running after me. I'd actually left the cafe. And it just seems to be a feature when people hear you doing this sort of thing, they just want to help. So well done you guys at Biestra Cafe. So I decided to cross the road to the other side of the road because it looked more likely that the pathway would continue on that side, and of course I was wrong. And as I enter Scoria now, I had to cross this road back again, and the traffic was just like amazing. I was just stood there for ages trying to cross. It's just been continuous, it's just so busy. So I'll be really pleased to get on the coastal path again. I went slightly too far on that main road actually. Had to nip back into Scoria. It only cost me 2-3 minutes, wasn't a major. Now there should be a little walking path to avoid me having to walk on the A road here. I wonder if this is it here. I think it is. Hurrah, hurrah, hurroo. And just a couple of moments later, I must be so dumb. I actually thought that place was a place called Ignore Sat Nav, and it suddenly dawned on me. Dear me. I definitely need that rest day, I reckon. On a very small road now, heading towards a place called Mount Hawke. In fact, I feel very safe. There's hardly any traffic on this road. But the only safety issue is I'm slipping on some manure. I think I've passed 2 tractors and 2 cars so far on this road. I think we know who the culprit is. Coming right from that farm. Going to scoot past Mount Hawke and the outskirts of it and head towards St Agnes on the back road here. I'm only 2.5 miles from St Agnes. It's only 1:45 in the afternoon. I could do with some fuel, so I'm going to get some lunch here. Stand corrected, it's only 1.5 miles to St Agnes. I'll lose this road now and hit a B road again, so I'll have to be a little bit more careful just for a mile stretch. So I hit St Agnes a fraction after 1 o'clock. It's really good ground today. I'm supposed to be cruising. It wasn't that difficult. It was road walking, which is generally fast. And might have lunch here. I haven't got to my accommodation till 5 o'clock, so just had a slight reevaluation and decided to go from there. So I had a nice lunch in St Agnes at the St Agnes Hotel, and it's quite cold today actually. Now, tiny dilemma is that it's only 2:30 and my hosts aren't back home till 5 tonight here in St Agnes. The next stretch, I'm going to get slaughtered for saying this, the next stretch is to Perranporth, which is about 4 miles on the coastal track. And that's really quite exciting, being back on the coastal track. I know I'm going to get slaughtered by 2 people in particular, John in Widnes and Neil in London, but I'm probably going to push on. I know I keep saying I won't, but you know, I've got 2.5 hours to waste. It's quite cold. It's perfect walking weather in a way. So I'm just going to see if I can find the track first and then see what time I manage to get the track, and then we'll make a decision from there. And that's St Agnes. But I will be returning this evening for accommodation or just outside St Agnes, back on the coastal track, and it's just neat, isn't it? Look at the views. Windswept and barren, rustic and wild, no one else around. So pleased to be back on the trail. It was unique being in a situation where I had to go through the villages, and I actually really enjoyed it, but I just got a little bit fed up with having to look behind and get off the road. Never had one single incident, which was amazing. But it's good to be back on the path again. Some more evidence of tin mining ahead, and looks like I'm dropping down this hill just here, so I can climb up that hill just there. In fact, not just that one, but there's plenty of evidence of the mining that took place a century or so ago, all the way around to Perranporth. I did read that in the guidebook too. It does make you wonder what sort of lives the people lived who were working in these mines, and how different they would be from our lives today. But it was a tough life. It was a good descent and climb back up again. A beautiful view from the top, and St Agnes Cove there in the distance. And some quite unusual colours interspersed on the trail, and just remnants of the old copper mines, I guess. A few little sinkholes along the way too. Just the different colours again. So just been through that little part of the trail there, another sectioned off piece with the sinkhole. I'm just heading now down into Perranporth for the end of today's walking. It's just after 4 o'clock, so it's been a good day. Perranporth. A little bit of a drop into the village. Lots of new houses going up here. So I'm going to touch this lamppost, signpost, wherever it is, and that's my finish point for the day, and that's where I'll pick up after tomorrow's rest day. And that's finished walking for day number 6. So hosted this evening by Mark and Michael, who are fiercely Cornish, even though they come from different coasts, I'm told.
North and south, yeah.
So north
I'm
coast,
the northerner.
yeah, and south coast,
yeah, Mediterranean coast.
and both heavily involved in the Cornish tradition.
Yeah.
Mark being fluent, and he tells me one of only a few hundred fluent Cornish speakers.
And queer, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And Michael, you're heading that way too.
Yes, I am. Maraz Braz, thank you very much.
Very good, very good. So I've had a real educational evening on the Cornish experience this evening. Thank you very much, both of you.
Good luck
Cheers.
on your walk.
Chonsta.
So day 6 from Lizard and day 3 from Land's End. Started off with quite a bit of road walking and eventually made it to St Agnes. I was really early. This is where I was going to stop for the night, but because I didn't have any accommodation until 5 o'clock, pushed on to Perranporth and got an extra 6-7 k's under my belt on the trail. So made my way back to St Agnes, and I'll restart from Perranporth at the point where I left off on Wednesday after a rest day tomorrow. Highlight of the day, the Barista Cafe in Redruth, who when they saw me walk out with a note on my back about raising money and heading to Scotland, they ran after me with a £5 donation to the charity, which was amazing. And great company tonight, and learning about Cornwall history, language, culture with Mark and Michael. It was great. So a good day all in all, good day's walking, wasn't too hot, fairly cool, threatened to rain but never did, and all in all a good day. So that was the end of day 6 from Lizard and day 3 from Land's End.